No, Roma Wines, Roma, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world. Roma Wines present
Suspense. Tonight, Roma Wines bring you Mr. Michael O'Shea as star of Photo Finish, a suspense play produced, edited, and directed for Roma Wines by William Spear.
Suspense, radio's outstanding theater of thrills, is presented for your enjoyment by Roma Wines. That's Roma, Roma Wines. Those excellent California wines that can add so much pleasantness to the way you live, to your happiness in entertaining guests, to your enjoyment of everyday meals. Yes, right now a glassful would be very pleasant, as Roma Wines bring you Michael O'Shea in a remarkable tale of
Suspense.
Well, it was hot enough to fry eggs on the sidewalk. About the worst we'd had all year, and I hadn't made a dozen cash jobs since morning. But at 5 o'clock, I was still in there plugging because, well, that's the way I am. I leveled on a guy and a dame that looked like they might go for a good two-shot and snapped them and hand the guy the card that tells him how he can get 3 prints of that fine candid camera shot I just made of him for only $1. But he just brushes me off like all the rest. Well, it's the last shot on the roll, and I unload and figure to call it a day when I see a guy coming through the crowd that's dressed up as sharp as a tack, and he's sort of glancing at himself sideways in the store windows and generally seems extra fond of himself. So quick as a flash, I get me sights on him, and then a funny thing happens. He sort of staggers as though somebody had just come along and give him a big slap on the back, and he starts folding, and all so sudden that I can't even stop myself, and so help me, I snap him right in the middle of his dive. And then he's out like a light, and there's a crowd around. Everybody's saying, get the doctor in the heat. Somebody else is calling it. Enough is enough. I'm all burned up with this guy and the heat and the day and everything. So I just turn on my heel and head for Jake's place to cool off.
Oh, hiya, Joe. What do you say? Cup of coffee?
Yeah.
Well, how'd she go today? Do any good?
Are you kidding? People don't want to have their pictures made when they got perspiration running down their faces and the guys are in their shirt sleeves and the dames' dresses are all wrinkled up out of shape. All they want to do is to get somewhere where they can cool off like me.
Yeah, that's right. All right, I guess.
What a day. And the payoff. Here, listen to this. I'm making a guy just before I come in here. A swell shot it would have been, too. And just as I snap him, what do you suppose he does?
What?
He falls. He collapses right in the sidewalk. Voom, the heat or something. I don't know.
Yeah, is that right?
Yeah, boy, do I pick the cash customers.
Oh, tough on the poor guy, huh?
Tough on him. What about me? I got a living to make, too, you know.
Well, yeah, that's right. Oh, pardon me.
Go ahead.
Jake's Friendly Pharmacy. Huh? Well, I don't know. Well, just a moment, I'll see. Hey, Joe, it's your wife.
Uh-oh, I forgot. She told me specially to be home early today. She got a steak for tonight.
What'll I tell her?
Tell her I just left. No, wait a minute. Tell her you ain't seen me all day.
Okay. No, he's not here, Mrs. Mooney. No, I haven't. Yes, Mrs. Yes, Mrs. Mooney. Yeah, I sure will. Yeah. She said if I see you. Hey, Joe. Hey, Joe, wait.
I ain't got time. I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, Joe.
Yoo-hoo. Hello, honey.
Don't honey me.
Something smells good. Supper ready?
Is supper ready? Oh, of course supper's ready. The potatoes are all nice and dried up, and the meat's good and tough. Supper's been ready for an hour.
Oh, it has? Oh, gee,
You know I told you to be home on time tonight. You think they're handing steaks out for good behavior nowadays?
Oh, gosh, Maud, I forgot.
Forgot. You'd forget your name if it wasn't pasted inside your hat. Where have you been?
Why, I was working.
This late? On a day like this? Hey, wait a minute. Let me look at you.
Oh, now, wait a minute, Maud. Now, wait. Maud, listen. Something happened today. I wasn't going to tell you about this. I was going to spare your feelings.
This one, it better be good.
Well, it shook me up pretty bad. I don't mind telling you. And that was the whole trouble why I was late.
Yeah, I suppose this time you found an atom bomb in a suitcase and you picked it up.
No, Maud. Listen, Maud. I'm serious. I saw a man die today, Maud.
Well, they do it every day, don't they?
Yeah, but, Maud, I was taking his picture. He died right while I was snapping it, right at me feet. Swooned.
I suppose he grabbed you around the ankle so you couldn't come home.
But, Maud, they thought it was murder.
Murder? Who thought so?
Why, everybody. The people that saw it, they was asking me all kinds of questions.
Oh, Joe. Oh, what do you want to tell me a story like that for?
I swear, Maud, I swear I can prove it. I got the film. I'll develop it right here tonight. I got it right here in my camera, and I'll get me my
Now what?
my camera. I must have forgot it.
I might have known this was all leading up to something. Where's the ticket?
The what?
You know what? The pawn ticket.
Oh, Maud, you got me all wrong. The camera's all right. It's right where I left it, right in Jake's place.
Ah, Jake's place. Well, which is it? The hock shop or Jake's place?
Oh, Maud, I was only in there for a minute.
Oh, Joe, how can you do it? Losing your camera, hanging around in that cheap joint when you know we're trying to save up for a studio of our own? Oh, Joe, we're never going to get out of this rut.
Oh, Maud. Look. I had to leave the camera there.
Had to. Why?
Because of that picture. I was scared to bring it home. It might be evidence or
Joe,
something.
you just said a minute ago you had it with you. You said that you...
Yeah,
Oh, who in the world could that be?
I'll get it, honey. You stay right here. That's it. Just rest yourself. I'll go to the door.
Your name, Mooney?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Sidewalk photographer, ain't
Yes,
you?
indeed, that's right.
Did you take a picture of a guy keeling over on Main Street about 5 o'clock this afternoon?
That's right. I was just telling my wife.
You got your camera here with the picture?
Why, no. I left it downtown.
You better come along with us then.
Hey, say, what is this? Who are you?
Police headquarters.
Police?
Police? Say, what is this all about?
You ought to know. You saw the guy bumped off, didn't you?
Bumped off, yeah. Maud, the guy is dead. He was murdered. Of course, I could see now how that picture of mine would be pretty important evidence, so naturally I'm glad to go along with these coppers and help them out all I can. When we get out on the sidewalk, there's a car there and two other guys sitting in it, all plainclothes cops, evidently the homicide squad, I suppose, and we go over to this other car.
That the guy?
Yeah, but he don't have it with him.
Where is it?
Downtown. I've forgotten left it there, a place on Main Street.
Oh, that's bad. We got that other call to make, and Main Street's out of the way.
Well, gee, I'm sorry. It just happened tonight. I forgot.
You talk when you're told to. The rest of the time, you keep quiet, see?
Well, sure, officer. Just as you
Well,
say.
we go by this joint on Main Street, and then we make the other call.
No, we can't. We got to be on time for that one. Right on time. Going by Main Street, we'd never make it.
Then we gotta take this mug along.
Well, say, that'll make it awful crowded after we leave the... Well, after we leave the other place.
Hey, Mooney, you got a car?
Why, certainly, officer. The one right ahead.
Hey,
there,
that's
see?
an idea. We take his car and put the...
All right. You and Harry take him in his car. Harry drives, you follow us. You got it?
Okay, Frankie.
Let's go.
We get in my car and start downtown after the others. Now, the cop they call Harry is driving, and I'm sitting in the back seat with the other one. At first, I don't say nothing, especially after the crack that other cop had made. And anyway, I see these two are sort of tense and nervous. I can see these cops are taking this crime pretty serious. But after a while, they loosen up between themselves, and I look for a chance to get myself into the conversation.
Frankie's taking it easier than I thought.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to be those guys that mess it up.
Say, I sure hope I can be of some help to you fellas.
Oh, I wouldn't worry none about that.
Yeah, that's about the least of your worries.
Well, it's nice of you to put it that way. Say, you got any clues? I mean, like who killed this guy or anything?
Yeah. Some guys that didn't like him.
Oh. Gee, it's funny, though. I never would have thought it. I mean, I didn't notice anything like a shot or anything.
It was a silencer job.
You talk too much.
What's the difference? You'll read it all in the papers, won't he?
You still talk too much.
Where we going now?
The morgue.
Oh, yeah. The morgue?
Yeah, we want you to sort of identify the body.
We get to the morgue and drive up to the entrance and wait outside while these cops in the other car go in. To fix it up for me to do my stuff, I figure. But in about 5 minutes, they come running out, and two of them are carrying something wrapped up in a sheet. And I don't need no x-ray eyes to see it is a stiff. And then they throw it into our car on the floor of the back seat like it was a bundle of wood. And then we take out of there like somebody was after us, following the other car, heading for the west side of town. I don't know. It all happened so fast, and I'm hanging on so tight when we go around the corners on two wheels and trying to keep my feet out of this stiff space. I'm beginning to feel not so good about the whole thing. Well, at first, I don't dare open my mouth for fear my heart will jump right out in me lap. But after a while, I can't help it. I just got to find out what it's all about. I guess that's the body, huh?
This boy's bright, Harry. He must have went to college.
Yeah, when do you want me to identify it?
Oh, you'll have plenty of time for that, Junior.
Guess you're not going by the joint in Main Street for my camera, huh?
One thing at a time, Bud. One thing at a time.
You ask too many questions. That ain't healthy.
Healthy?
Hey, listen.
Cops!
Cops?
Look, Frank is signaling.
Yeah, he means we should separate. Take your next turn to the left and head for the hills.
Cops? What are cops chasing us for? If you guys are... Oh, my... Oh.
The best thing we can do is ditch this heat. I ain't taking no rap for Frankie in a job like this.
You ain't cops. You guys ain't cops at all.
Well, what do we do with him?
What do you think?
Hey, now, wait. What are you guys going to do?
What do you think?
No, wait a minute. That is the last thing I remember. A world full of stars. A veritable blackout.
For Suspense, Roma Wines are bringing you Michael O'Shea in Photo Finish, a radio play by Roy Grandy and Robert Richards. Roma Wines' presentation tonight in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Between the acts of Suspense, this is Truman Bradley reminding you that as the temperature goes up, so does the popularity of tall, frosty, thirst-quenching drinks. And topping them all for cooling, delicious refreshment is Roma Wine and Soda, iced, America's smartest, coolest summer drink. Roma Wine and Soda, so cool for a hot, tired husband to come home to, so delightfully pleasing to guests. And serving Roma Wine and Soda is simplicity itself. You just half-fill tall glasses with Roma California Burgundy, or Sauterne, or any other Roma wine type you prefer. Then add ice and sparkling water and sweeten to taste. Good? You'll agree Roma Wine and Soda, iced, is the coolest, most refreshing tall drink you ever tasted. And remember, because Roma wines are selected for your pleasure from the world's greatest reserves of wines, your Roma Wine and Soda is better tasting every time. Yes, Roma, drawn from the world's greatest reserves of fine wines, brings you unvaryingly fine wine always, at reasonable cost. So insist on Roma, R-O-M-A, Roma wines. Discover for yourself why more Americans enjoy Roma than any other wine.
And now, Roma Wines bring back to our Hollywood soundstage Michael O'Shea as fearless photographer Joe Mooney in Photo Finish. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
There's something that sounds like heavy machinery at work where my brains ought to be. And every time this machine turns over, it feels like it's going to blow the top off my head, and I'm all sprawled out someplace. And then it turns out to be the back seat of a car. And I managed to stumble over something that's down on the floor, and then I'm out of this car and standing in a little dirt road, and it's sometime at night. I don't know what it's all about. I don't know what I'm doing here at all. And then I see that this is my car, and that makes some sense, and then I remember my camera. I got to get my camera, that's it. On account of Maud says I shouldn't have left it. Jake's place, that's where I left it. And so I crawled back into the car, and I get it turned around and headed down this dirt road. Pretty soon I'm on a bigger road, and then I'm on the main highway back to town. All the time I'm thinking, this is a funny thing for me to be doing. But the main thing is, I got to get the camera. And then I'm pulling up in front of Jake's place, and I'm going in.
Hey, Joe, where you been? Your wife was looking for you.
Maud, was she in here?
Yeah, she come down to pick up your camera.
Oh, well, that's okay then. That's what I came by for.
Hey, you all right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, you don't look it. Where's your hat?
Hat? What hat? I don't know. Maybe it's out in the car.
Hey, come here. What happened to your head?
Ouch, don't touch
You
it.
better go home and get some sleep, Joe, and have somebody look at that head. Put some tincture of mercurochrome on it. Oh, this ain't like you at all.
No. Yeah, I better be going, huh?
Oh, wait. Here, your wife left her purse. She was kind of upset anyway. Worried about you, I guess.
Oh, thanks.
Boy, you're a lucky guy, Joe. I didn't know the missus was anything like that. What a knockout.
Huh?
Yeah, she's gorgeous, Joe.
That don't sound like Maud.
It don't? Well, it was.
Hey, what did this dame look like that picked up my camera?
Listen, you ain't so far gone you can't remember what your own wife looks like, are you?
No, only this ain't my wife's purse.
It ain't?
No. What did the dame look like?
Oh, medium size, young, blonde, terrific figure, gorgeous face.
That ain't Maud.
No?
No. Maud is kind of, well... but she's nothing like that.
Well, what do you know?
Listen, Jake. I've been having some awful peculiar experiences tonight.
Yeah? You must have been.
Yeah. I better call Maud. She can always figure these things
now,
out.
Wait
better.
a minute, Joe. Maybe you had an order just now. I wish you'd let me fix you up with a little something to straighten you out. I got the greatest thing in the world for you. It'll make you feel a lot better. That fella come in the other night. He was awesome. I fixed him up. Just fix him. Yeah, sure.
Hello?
Hello. Hello, Maud.
Well, it's about time you turned up. I've been worried to death.
Listen, Maud, I came by to get the camera. Only some girls, some blonde had already picked it up, but I'm going to find it now and get the camera, so don't
now,
you worry.
Just listen to me. Don't you go getting mixed up with any blondes. You're mixed up enough already.
Oh, but it's all right, Maud. I'll just pick up the camera and come right home. It's funny, though, when she came by here to get it, she said she was you.
Yeah, that's not all that's funny. You're in pretty deep, Joe Mooney. In the first place, those men you went out with weren't the police at all.
Those men, the cops?
I'm trying to tell you they weren't cops.
Oh.
I called the police headquarters myself, and they said they never
Wait, Maud. Now I remember. We were going to go to get my camera, only we didn't get it. We got in my car, and we went to the morgue, and then... Maud!
Joe.
My car! I got a dead man in my car.
Joe, what's the matter? You look like you seen a ghost.
Don't say that, Jake. Now, come on, you got to help me. Come on.
Well, okay, Joe, but...
Come on, out in my car. I'll show it to you, Jake. What'll I do? What am I going to do?
Show me what?
The stiff, the dead man.
What?
Yeah, in my car.
Now, listen, Joe, come on back inside. Let me fix you up a little something.
No, it's there. I'm telling you, we got to do something.
Okay, Joe, but let's just leave it there for a while, huh? Maybe it'll go away. Hey, Freddie.
All right. You think I'm crazy, huh?
No,
but here, look.
Yeah?
Oh, no. It's gone.
Well, there. Now, isn't that nice?
Jake, no, look, on the level, Jake. I remembered the whole thing now. I was hijacked by gangsters, and they stole the stiff out of the morgue.
Uh-huh.
The guy that was killed that I took the picture of, remember?
Yeah.
And then the cops chased us, and they hit me on the head. Sure. And when I talked to Maud, the whole thing came back to me.
Sure it did, Joe. Now, you come on back inside. Let me fix you.
I couldn't have dreamed it all, Jake. I couldn't have dreamed it. Could I?
Now, you just sit down right here, and I'll fix
Now, wait,
you up.
listen, Maud will tell you, Jake. She called the cops when I didn't show up. And what's that blonde doing after my camera? What about her?
Well, now, that's a different story. That wasn't no ghost.
Jake, I gotta get that camera.
Now, listen, in the first place, you don't know how to find the dame.
Well, maybe there's an address in that purse.
And in the second place, if there was all these gunzels and stiffs and all, maybe she's mixed up with them. And in the third place, hey, that reminds me, there was a funny thing about that camera.
Here, here's her address here, right here.
When your wife called, the first time, on the phone, I guess it was your wife. Well, anyway, she said for me to... Oh, pardon me. Wait a minute. Jake's Friendly Pharmacy.
Jake's Friendly Pharmacy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, now, just a minute. Joe, it's the blonde on the phone now.
The blonde?
Yeah, she's still saying she's your wife. Wants to know if she left her purse here.
Oh, well, I want to talk to her.
Yeah, well, okay, take her to the booth, huh, Joe? You know, the customer.
Yeah, customer. Hello?
Oh, I'm awfully sorry to trouble you. Did you find it?
Listen, madam, this is Joe Mooney. What's the idea saying you're my wife and swiping my camera?
Oh, Mr. Mooney.
Yeah. Well, I'm listening.
Oh, Mr. Mooney, I don't know how to tell you.
Well, you better find out, because my wife Maud is plenty sore, and I want my camera.
Oh, I know it was a terrible thing to do, but that picture you took of the man who was killed...
Yeah?
He was my brother.
Your brother? Oh, gee.
Oh, I don't know why those terrible men killed him. He was wayward, but he wasn't a bad boy, and he was all I had.
Gee, I didn't know about that.
I never had a picture of him. I wanted a sort of last memento, but I didn't know if you would... Oh, I'm so ashamed.
Why, sure, I'd give it to you. Sure, I would.
Would you?
Sure, you can have it.
Oh, Mr. Mooney.
What about my camera?
Oh, I have the camera. You can come up and get it now if you want to.
Well, that'd be fine if it ain't too late.
Oh, no. No, I sort of need company now.
Why, sure, you poor kid. Well, I'll be right up. I got your address right here.
Oh, Mr. Mooney, I don't know how to thank you.
Why, don't even try to mention it.
And, would you mind bringing my purse when you come?
Why, certainly.
I'll be waiting.
Okay, babe. Miss, I'll be right up. Well, on the way up, I get to thinking this is an awful funny picture to want as a souvenir of a guy. A shot of him getting bumped off in the street. But, of course, there's no accounting for dames. And then I figure she probably don't even know the kind of a shot it is, the poor kid, and I figure I better break it to her as gentle as I can, which is only what anyone else would do, especially if she's the knockout that Jake says. And she is.
Mr. Mooney?
Yeah.
Won't you come in?
Well, thank you, Miss,
O'Day.
O'Day.
Oh, Mr. Mooney, you must think I'm a terrible person.
Why, no, not at all, Miss O'Day. Why, I knew the minute I talked to you on the phone that you wasn't like some girls. I mean that you was the real thing.
Oh, Mr. Mooney.
Here's your purse.
Oh, thank you.
You, got my camera?
Oh, yes, I've got the camera. But, you were going to give me the picture, weren't you?
Oh, sure. After you give me the camera.
After I give you the camera?
Yeah, you see, the picture, the film, that is still in the camera.
Oh, but it isn't, Mr. Mooney. I looked.
It isn't? But it's gotta be.
Are you trying to tell me you don't have the film, Mr. Mooney?
Well, how could I? I ain't had my hands on that camera since I left it at Jake's this afternoon.
Look, Mr. Mooney, let's not be difficult. Just give me the film.
But I ain't got it, I'm telling you, I ain't got it.
All right, boys.
What boys? Hey, what is
Hello, Junior.
Hey, where did they come from?
They're friends of mine.
Yeah, but they put a dead body in my car.
That's stiff? Well, now, wait a minute. Don't you worry about that none. He's in a nice, safe place.
All right. We ain't got all night. Where's that film?
Film? I don't know.
Frisk him.
Okay, hold still
Yeah,
now, Junior. Hold still.
But, Miss O'Day, these guys, that body, that was your brother.
It's getting so you just can't believe nothing the dame tells you. Ain't it true, Junior, huh? You don't have it on him, Frankie.
Now, look, fellas, I don't want to have no trouble. All I want is my camera.
We don't want no trouble.
Now, listen, Moody. We want that film, and we don't care how we get it. So talk and talk fast.
Yeah, but how could I have it? I ain't had the camera. Nobody could have got that film except her, unless Jake...
Jake, the mug at the drugstore.
Yeah, do you think that guy's got it?
Get it, Gene.
Okay. Yeah? Yeah? All right, okay. Thanks, Harry. It's a tip-off. They're on their way up here.
Oh, come on. We got to scram.
What about him?
What do you think?
Oh, no, now, wait a minute. Oh. I can see it coming, but I can't move. And there's that world full of stars again, and that veritable blackout. It was all like something that had happened before. That big machine banging away in my head, and the thoughts beginning to flow up around it little by little. Only this time I'm in a room. The lights are on. There's nobody there. And then I saw my camera, and I remembered. I remembered there was a phone someplace, too, and I found it and crawled over to it and started dialing my number.
Hello?
Maud.
Joe.
I got the camera, Maud.
The camera. Never mind the camera, you nitwit. Where are you?
Well, I came up to that Blonde's place, you
Blonde,
see.
my Aunt Fanny. Don't you know by this time you're mixed up with a bunch of gangsters?
Yeah, I know. They wanted that film.
Never mind about the film either. You just come home.
Yeah, but the film wasn't in a camera.
Now, you listen to me, Joe Mooney. I know all about that film. I don't trust anybody, not even the police, and I realize that film might be pretty valuable. So after you left, I phoned Jake and told him to take the film out of the camera before he gave it to anybody. And then Jake came back to the phone and told me... Are you listening?
Maud, wait, there's somebody coming.
Joe!
Maud, I gotta go. Hello. I grab my camera and find a service entrance in the kitchen, and even though my head feels like it's bouncing on every step, I'm down those back stairs on wings. Then I'm into my car and 10 blocks away before I bet them guys up there have even had time to crack the lock on the door. And I keep on going until I'm back where there's plenty of lights. And then I feel really safe, and believe me, I heave some sigh of relief. Oh, boy. Well, I'd be glad to see Maud in the old shack. Well, it's about that time I noticed this other car pulling up alongside.
Hey, you! Pull over!
Huh?
Pull over to the side. We're from headquarters.
No, you don't, brother. Not twice you don't. Not to this cookie. I got the jump on him, and I got that thing down to the floor because I figure my luck is about to run out. And if I'm dumb enough to let these guys grab me again, I don't deserve to answer for the consequences. I make a right and head for the lower part of town that's just cut out for ducking wide chumps like them. And then I look around to see where they are. They're a good half a mile behind. I figure to make it easy. Only when I look back at the road, there ain't no road. There's a lamppost. Mooney, you're gonna know them stars better than the head of the planetarium is what I'm thinking when it happens. This time I am walking. And a guy all dressed in white has me by the arm, so naturally I think I'm coming up to the pearly gates. And sure enough, there's a big iron gate. Only it looks too much like the door of the bullpen at headquarters to suit me. And a guy that looks like a guard is opening it, and then I'm in a room with a lot of people, cops and all them gangsters and the blonde and Maud.
He's still a little dazed, but he'll be all right.
Maud?
Joe, for heaven's sake, what happened to your head?
Plenty.
I'm sorry about the accident, Mrs. Mooney, but he tried to run away from us.
I expect he brought it on himself, all right. He usually does.
We just want to ask him one question, Mrs. Mooney, if he feels like answering it.
Of course he can answer it.
Mr. Mooney, can you identify these people as the one who stole the dead body out of the morgue?
I sure can, and how?
That's all then, Mrs. Mooney. We'll call you when we need you again.
He does get the reward, though, doesn't he?
Oh, yes, he'll get the reward, all right.
The reward?
You better get him home now, Mrs. Mooney.
Yeah. Come on, Joe.
Yeah, but Maud, wait. What is this with this reward here?
$10,000.
$10,000.
Steady, Joe, steady.
$10,000.
Oh, goodness, Joe, don't you know yet what's been going on?
Well, why...
Listen, Joe, those people were wanted all over the country.
Sure
They're a gang of bank robbers or
Crooks.
something. That man they killed had double-crossed him somehow, see?
Dead.
And then they went to the morgue, and they held
I was
up the
there.
attendant, and they stole the body and disposed of it, you see?
Sure.
Because they figured with the body and that film of yours out of the way, there wouldn't be any evidence against them.
Yeah, that's right. The film.
Oh, no. Oh.
I guess that film was pretty important evidence, huh? $10,000
Oh,
worth.
Joe Mooney, you are a nitwit. You're the only one who could identify him, that's all.
Maybe I'm a nitwit, but I wasn't too dumb to get that $10,000 picture, was I, huh? Well, was I?
Oh, you took the picture, all right.
All right.
But there wasn't any film.
No film?
Because you forgot to put film in your camera.
Mine.
Suspense.
Presented by Roma Wines, R-O-M-A, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world. This is Truman Bradley for Roma Wines. July, one of the warmest months, calls for tall, frosty, iced drinks. And during these hot, sultry days, I always call for Roma Wine Lemonade, a cool, thirst-quenching treat that's tempting, tasty, delicious. Yes, when temperatures soar, Roma Wine Lemonade is the first choice as a tall, cool refresher after a sweltering day's work, as a low-cost, easy-to-serve party drink for summer guests. Here's how. In a tall glass, place ice and the juice of half a lemon. Pour 3/4 full with Roma, California Burgundy, or any other Roma wine type you choose. Fill with water, sweeten to taste, and stir. Presto! You've a drink fit for a tropical king. Remember, a refresher made with Roma, selected from the world's greatest wine reserves, is better tasting naturally. So be sure to enjoy Roma Wine Lemonade. Insist on Roma, R-O-M-A, Roma Wine. Largest selling wine in all history.
This is Mike O'Shea, hey. I've certainly enjoyed appearing on Suspense, a long-time favorite of mine, you know what I mean? Well, next Thursday, I'm sure you'll want to be listening when one of Hollywood's finest radio actors, Mr. Elliot Lewis, will appear as star of Suspense, in a play of which he is also the author.
Next Thursday, same time, Roma Wines will bring you Mr. Elliot Lewis as star of Suspense, radio's outstanding theater of thrills.
Produced by William Spear for the Roma Wine Company of Fresno, California. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Now, Roma Wines, R-O-M-A, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world. Roma Wines present Suspense.
Tonight, Roma Wines bring you Mr. Elliot Lewis as star of Can't We Be Friends? A suspense play produced, edited, and directed for Roma Wines by William Spear.
Suspense. Radio's outstanding theater of thrills is presented for your enjoyment by Roma Wines. That's R-O-M-A. Roma Wines. Those excellent California wines that can add so much pleasantness to the way you live, to your happiness in entertaining guests, to your enjoyment of everyday meals. Yes, right now, a glassful would be very pleasant, as Roma Wines bring you Elliot Lewis in a remarkable tale of
Suspense.
I suppose you want to know how it happened.
Yes, I'd like very much to know.
Then will you tell me how you got here?
I'm Dr. Mayer.
Did you look at her? Is she dead?
You tell me your story first.
Who's he?
This gentleman lives in the next apartment.
Yeah?
Yes, go on. Let's hear your story.
Well, her name is Frances Murphy. I've known her for about 6 months. I met her at a party. We went out together a few times, liked each other, and started going together. She's fascinating, I guess. I fell in love with her, and I think she was in love with me. For a while, anyway.
What's your name?
Michael Gordon.
Yeah? Well, go on.
Well, she wasn't well for a while, and then she told me she had to go to the hospital. Some minor surgery.
Minor surgery? Why, that girl... So that's what she told you, eh?
Yeah. Well, anyway, I got sort of busy, and I didn't get a chance to see her while she was sick. And when I saw her again, she wouldn't talk to me, so I started seeing another girl I know. But this afternoon, I got to thinking about Fran. I kept seeing her when I was with the other girl. It bothered me. So I decided I'd come over and see her. I got here at 6 o'clock. This apartment, in case you don't know, is very easy to get up to. The desk clerk sits around the corner from the elevator, and you don't have to see him if you don't want to. I didn't want him to call and tell Fran I was coming up, so I went over to the elevator without talking to him and came directly up to the 4th floor and knocked on her door. Hello, Fran.
Oh, it's... My.
How are you, Fran? Can I come in?
What do you want?
Oh, I was just passing by. I thought I'd stop in and see how you were feeling.
You're a little late, aren't you? Been feeling better for 3 weeks.
Oh, now don't be like that, honey. I was busy. That's why I didn't see you. Aren't you going to ask me in?
All right, come in. But you can't stay long. I've got an engagement with a very good friend tonight.
Oh, thanks. Well, the apartment looks very nice.
Sit down if you like.
Oh, thanks. Care for a cigarette?
No, thanks.
You look swell.
It's not your fault, I do.
Oh, now don't be like that, Fran. I feel awful about not seeing him when you were sick. I had to see a fellow from out of town.
Did it take you 10 days to see him?
Oh, honey, you know how those things are. It was business. You just can't make any other plans.
You really don't have to explain it to me. I'm not the least little bit interested in what you do.
Fran, look at me. I'm sorry, Fran. I don't blame you for being mad at me. I'm no good, I guess. I'm just a no-good bum. I never deserved having a girl like you anyway.
How true.
But let's let bygones be bygones and at least part good friends, huh? That's really why I came by today. I wanted to ask you, can't we be friends?
Well...
Because I loved you, Fran. You know that I did. I still do. But, of course, I realize that's beside the point.
You still do, huh? Whatever do you mean?
I've been thinking about you a lot, Fran. About how you walk, the fingernail polish you use, the perfume you wear.
You gave me for my birthday.
Did I? Well, you know, that's right. I remember now. You sure were surprised.
It's very nice of you.
It was nothing, honey. Nothing at all. I wish I could have gotten you a mink coat. 2 mink coats, one for afternoon, one for nighttime.
Really?
Mind if I sit here next to you?
Well, I don't know.
Thanks. You're wearing the perfume now, aren't you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, perfume has a better smell when you wear it, you know? Oh, will you forgive me, Fran, for being such a heel?
Well, you really didn't...
No, don't answer that, honey. That wasn't nice of me to ask you that. There's no reason why a girl like you should get stuck with a bum like me. You're better off going out with other people. Who's this friend you had the engagement with tonight?
Are you really sorry you didn't see me, Mike?
I told you I was. I could have killed myself. I felt so bad.
Oh. Give me a kiss.
Sure, honey.
I missed you, Mike. And I haven't got an engagement with anyone tonight. I haven't been out of the house. Dr. Mayer said I should take it easy.
Oh, that's good, honey. We'll go out tonight, huh? Or would you rather I stayed here with you for dinner? And then we could listen to some music tonight. I haven't heard your records in a long time, you know.
No, you'll have to go, Mike. I have some packing to do. I have to go away and rest a while. Guess I was pretty sick.
Oh, it's all the more reason for me to stay, honey. I'll help you pack. We'll have a little farewell party.
No, I'm sorry, Mike. I have to go to sleep as soon as I finish packing, so I'll be fresh for the trip tomorrow.
Oh, that's ridiculous. I'm just going to sit here. I won't bother you. Who are you trying to kid?
What do you mean?
I mean, what are you trying to pull? If you got a date with another guy, tell me. I don't care who you go out with.
I told you I didn't have a date.
Well, you think I believe that? Too sick to see me, huh? That's a laugh. You certainly look well enough to me.
But I'm not.
That's one of the reasons I didn't go to see you in the hospital. I knew you were kidding.
What's the matter with you? I had an operation.
You want to tell me about your operation?
Please go.
I'll go when I'm good and ready.
You go right now. Right when I tell you to. Who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are?
You get out of here before I call the manager.
Oh, you wouldn't dare call the manager.
Oh, wouldn't I? Listen, you cheap, no-good bump. You get out of here, I'll have you thrown out.
Oh, shut up.
Okay. All right, drop it.
Hey, give me that phone.
Get your dirty hands off of me. You go away.
I told you to shut up.
What do you want? Why don't you leave me alone?
I want to see you uncomfortable. I want you to be unhappy the way you make me unhappy. I want to make sure you remember me. I used to fall for that crying routine, but not anymore. Now I just make you cry a little harder. You might like to know I wasn't seeing anybody about business while you were in the hospital. I went out every night. I've been seeing your friend Trudy.
Trudy?
Yeah, Trudy. But then I had to come back up here today and see you. Because I kept seeing you and I kissed Trudy.
What's that got to do with me? You get out of here.
I gotta do something to stop that. I don't love you anymore, but I keep remembering you. That's no good.
You can stop remembering me anytime you like. Well, I hardly recognized you when you came in. That's how easy I forgot.
Oh, that don't work with me.
Now listen to me. You listen to me. I'm tired of your little problem. I don't like you, and I wouldn't even like you if you had any money, which goodness knows you haven't. I want you to go away and leave me alone. And I want you to come back here anymore. You saw me today because you wanted to. Okay, but no more. Now, I'm going into the bedroom, and I'm going to lock the door, and I don't care whether you stay here forever, but I'm not coming out until you leave here. But if you haven't left in a little while, I'm going to scream. And I'm going to keep screaming until somebody comes up here and throws you out of here.
I just stood there for a while and looked at the door. And I thought, I don't love her. I don't love her at all. I hate her. That's when I decided to do it. Because I figured that if there was no Fran, then I could see Trudy or anybody else I wanted to and not have to worry about being lonesome for Fran or feeling sorry for Fran or needing Fran. And I figured you don't remember dead people very well. But I knew I had to do it that night before she left on her trip. I worked it out like this. I'd leave right then and leave her front door on the latch and talk to everybody in the building and go to my boarding house and tell everyone there how tired I was and go up to my room. That would be my alibi. Everyone would have seen me go to sleep. Then I'd wait until everybody was in bed. And I'd take my gun and come back here without anybody seeing me and kill Fran.
For Suspense, Roma Wines are bringing you Elliot Lewis as star of Can't We Be Friends, a radio play of which he is also the author, and which is Roma Wines' presentation tonight in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Between the acts of Suspense, this is Ken Niles for Roma Wine. Warm weather and cold drinks just naturally go together. And here's my favorite recipe for quick, thirst-quenching refreshment these scorching days. It's Roma Wine and Soda, America's smartest, coolest summer drink. After a hot day's work, try Roma Wine and Soda. It's refreshing as a cold shower. And when guests drop in, delight them with delicious, easy-to-serve Roma Wine and Soda. Just half fill a tall glass with Roma California Burgundy or Sauterne or any other Roma wine type of your choice. Then add ice, fill with sparkling water, and stir. In less than a minute, you're sipping your way to cool contentment. Or for a short refresher that's long on taste, try this cooler offer. Just pour Roma California Sherry to cover a cube or two of ice. It's delicious. Remember, Roma wines are selected from the world's greatest wine reserves. So refreshers made with Roma are better tasting always. For low-cost, cool enjoyment this summer, serve Roma Wine and Soda. Insist on Roma, R-O-M-A, Roma Wine. Largest selling wine in all history.
And now, Roma Wines bring back to our Hollywood soundstage Elliot Lewis as Michael Gordon in Can't We Be Friends? A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Hey, Fran. Well, I'm going now. I'm sorry we couldn't at least be friends. I went to the front door of her apartment and snapped the lock open and left, making a little noise closing the door so she'd know I'd gone. In the elevator going down, I saw a guy I didn't know, but I wanted to be seen leaving, so... Pardon me, do you have the time?
Quarter to 7.
Thanks. I'm awful tired.
You've been working hard?
Oh, yeah. Early jobs every morning. Matter of fact, this is almost my bedtime. Oh, after you.
Oh, thanks.
That's all right. I'll see you, huh?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Pardon me.
Yes. May I help you?
Yeah, Miss Murphy in 411 asked me to tell you she doesn't want to be disturbed.
Yes.
You got that straight now. Miss Murphy, 411, she doesn't want to be disturbed.
Not feeling badly again, is she?
Oh, no, just a little tired. Taking a nap.
Oh, well, thank you. I'll see that she's not bothered.
Yeah, because she doesn't want to be disturbed. Got the time?
10 minutes to 7.
10 minutes to 7. I better get my dinner and get some sleep. Got an early call in the morning. I left the building and took a cab, although I didn't have too much dough. I talked to the cabbie. I asked him about his family. I got real chummy with him. Because he was a Red Sox man, so I was a Red Sox man. At the boarding house, I gave everybody a big yawn. I lauded around how tired I was. Even had the landlady feeling sorry for me, and she usually hates me. Everybody patted me on the back up to my room. I made a lot of noise dropping my shoes when I got there. I jumped up and down on the bed a couple of times. Then I went over to the window, and I looked out at the street, and I waited. The traffic gradually disappeared as I watched. And through the early night, one by one, I could hear the other boarders yell goodnight to somebody in the living room and bang up the stairs and close their door. Pretty soon I knew they had to be asleep. About 1 o'clock in the morning, a last pair of footsteps came upstairs without saying goodnight to anyone. So I knew they'd all turned in. I waited a little longer to make sure everyone was sleeping. Then I put my shoes back on. I got my gun out of the bureau drawer. I opened the door to my room. Old man Epstein was sawing away down the hall, making his usual racket, so I felt easier about going past his door to get to the stairs. But I was very careful and quiet. He grumbled once when I got in front of his door, but I held still. Pretty soon he started sawing again. I got down the stairs. It was pretty dark in the living room, and I was afraid I'd trip on some furniture. But I made it all right. Finally felt the front door knob in my hand. I opened the door as quietly as I could.
Then what? I don't want to talk to him in that case. Go play with Lombardo. You rock me, Jackson. You rock me. What tomorrow? Same. I got an 88 man I want you to hear.
Oh, solid. See ya. Oh, that you, Whippy?
No.
Oh, hi, man.
Good evening. Door's open if you're going in.
Oh, thanks for saving me the key move, man. Hey, you still working days, fellow Borderooney?
Yeah.
Oh, ain't this a little past your bedtime, man?
Oh, yeah, it's late, but the reason I...
Hey, why do you go out at 3:00 about?
Well, I wasn't going out. I couldn't sleep. I was just going to get some fresh air and come right in again. You better leave the door unlocked for me.
Oh, boy, I'm beat.
Yeah, you better get to bed.
Oh, it's a fine night for singing.
Yeah.
Well, don't get too much of that fresh air. Liable to choke you to death.
Yeah, well, good night.
Oh, hey, we had that joint really jumping tonight. Hatchet Face come by, sat in with us for a while.
Really?
Oh, he's mellow. That boy plays fine.
So I hear.
Yeah. Oodly-woo. Oodly-wee. Oodly-doodly-doodly-doodly-doodly-doo. That good?
Yeah, sounds great.
Well, enjoy your company, Pops.
Sure thing. Good night.
Yeah. Well, gotta fall in now. Hit that pad.
I was frightened for a minute. I was awful frightened. If Jack remembered seeing me, my carefully planned alibi was shot. I thought better not tonight. But then, Jack wasn't like most people. He wouldn't remember in the morning. He'd be too busy trying to recall Hatchet Face's lick. No, it was still all right. But I had to be careful. I couldn't take any chances. To be safe, I had to have the alibi that I'd gone to bed early. I walked quietly to the street and started for Fran's apartment house. I was very careful all the way. A couple of times cars came by, and always I ducked into the shadows and waited for them to pass before I continued walking. I got here at about 4 o'clock, I guess. I went up to the front door and tried to open it. But the big door was locked. I couldn't get in. I took my keys out of my pocket and tried them. But none of them fitted. Then I heard someone coming up the walk. I moved back from the door and squeezed against the mailboxes and waited. I was almost afraid to breathe. Except that I knew I'd get in now. I'd just wait until the people went in and I'd get my foot in the door to keep it from completely closing again.
Good night, honey.
Good night, darling.
I'll call you in the morning, Betty Jane.
Call me when you get home so I know you're all right.
Oh, well, won't I wake anyone?
Oh, I'll be at the phone. I'll answer as soon as it rings.
Okay. Give me another kiss.
Do you love me?
Uh-huh.
How much?
1 million.
Oh, that's not enough. Good night.
Good night, Betty Jane. $7 million?
That's better. Don't forget to call.
I won't. Honey.
Yes, darling.
Good night.
Oh, good night, darling. You call now.
I will.
I was sweating. It had been close, but they hadn't seen me, and my foot was holding the door open, so I just waited there until I was sure she'd gone upstairs. And then I opened the door and quietly guided it closed and walked on tiptoe across the lobby to the elevator. I needn't have wondered about avoiding the desk clerk. There was no one at the desk. The elevator was upstairs somewhere where the girl had just taken it, and I rang the buzzer for it. I love self-service elevators. They make you feel like you could go to the moon in them. Elevators and subway trains I always wanted to drive ever since I was a kid. I got back in the dark just in time. The guy didn't see me. Please don't turn around. Please don't turn around. My mouth was so dry, I wondered for a few seconds how that guy'd been able to whistle. You know the way you do. And I opened the elevator door and got in. I pushed the button for the 4th floor. I got a little panicky because I thought that if someone was waiting on the 4th floor, they'd see me when they opened the elevator door. I almost convinced myself that someone would be there waiting for me. I put my hand in my coat pocket and felt the gun there and grabbed it hard. It was cold, so I took it out and pressed it against my forehead. That made me feel a little better. There was no one waiting for the elevator. I stepped out into the dark hallway. I took a pencil out of my pocket and jammed it against the door so that it couldn't close. You know the way those things are, they won't run when the door is open, and I wanted it to be there waiting for me when I finished the shooting. That was the only way I figured to get out of the apartment before everybody woke up and started doing something about hunting for me. There's a basement exit, you know, when the elevator goes down in the basement. I had all that figured, too. The pencil seemed to work, but to make sure, I stepped back into the elevator and pushed a button. And the motor clicked and the door strained, but stayed open. The elevator didn't go anywhere. Then I stepped out into the hall and listened. It was awful quiet. Not even anyone snoring, which you usually hear at night in a big apartment house like this. I tried to remember if there was a squeaky board in the floor anywhere down the hall, but couldn't, so I just crossed my fingers and tiptoed down the long, dark hallway. The only light was the red exit sign that shows you where the fire escape is. And seeing from that is like working at a darkroom developing pictures, which I did for a while. 2 doors from Fran's apartment. That's the most frightened I ever was in my life, when a kid started to yell. Because in the first place, I didn't know what it was right away. And in the second place, I thought, he'll wake up everybody in the apartment and they'll be up and on their feet when I start shooting. I guess I held my breath for a couple of minutes because when I started to try and relax, my breath came out in a low whistle. Well, that scared me, too. I thought, it'd be great if I get a heart attack right here in the hall of a strange apartment house in the little hours of the morning with a gun in my pocket. It's like being afraid of a fire at night because you don't want to go out in the street in your pajamas. It's worse, I guess. Anyhow, the baby finally quieted down. I waited a while, because I didn't know whether his mother had gotten up to quiet him or whether he'd just gone back to sleep again. I wasn't taking any chances now. It was too close to the finish. I waited. I figured it was safe a few minutes later and continued snailing down the hall. I stopped at Fran's door and listened. It was quiet inside. I put my hand into my pocket and grabbed hold of the gun. Then I slowly turned the doorknob, slid the door open. It didn't creak or anything, which was lucky. I got into the room, quietly closed the door again. I took the gun out of my pocket and released the safety and went to the bedroom door. It was already a little bit open. Through the crack, I could see her figure lying on the bed. I pushed the door enough ajar so that I could move into the room and look closer. That chop suey sign across the street was flashing on and off, and as I got used to the pattern it made on the wall, I saw Frances lying on the bed, dressed as she had been when I'd seen her early in the evening. She was lying on her stomach with her face turned toward the far side of the room, toward the shadow. My nose started to tickle. I thought I was going to sneeze, but when I pressed the cold gun against my upper lip, the desire left me. I moved slowly and quietly toward the bed. I got within a few feet of her. I pointed the gun right at her head. The gun was weaving around, so I held on with both hands. I took very careful aim. It was done. I threw the gun down on the bed right next to Fran and started for the door. I knew I didn't have much time to get out of there. I tripped over one of her packed suitcases in the living room, but didn't fall. It reminded me, though, that I'd gotten there in time. She hadn't had a chance to go on her trip. I got to the front door of the apartment and jerked it open.
What's the hurry? Get back in there.
Get out of my way!
Back in there.
I told you to get back in there!
And that's all I know of what happened.
I see.
Did you hit me?
Yes. I was helped by this gentleman here.
I used that book.
What are you doing here?
The young lady had called me and asked me to stop by.
At 4 o'clock in the morning?
Oh, look here. I'm her doctor.
Yeah? You must have got pretty clubby with her while she was in the hospital. I was right about her. That's swell. Now, I don't feel badly about having shot her.
The police will be here soon.
You think I'm going to wait for it? What is Jim Johnson? Hey!
Wow.
Huh? It's just as well.
What? Aren't you going to call the ambulance?
I already had.
Yeah.
I called the ambulance for the young lady. The state she was in when she talked to me on the phone, I knew we'd have to take her back to the hospital tonight.
Well, there's not much they can do for her now.
Well, there wasn't much they could have done for her before. An embolism, blood clot. Result of her surgery and the excitement she must have had earlier in the evening.
Then he didn't kill her?
She was dead 3 hours before he got here.
Suspense. Presented by Roma Wine. R-O-M-A. Made in California for enjoyment throughout the world. This is Ken Niles for Roma Wine, suggesting a refreshing idea for warm weather entertaining. Serve your guests tall, frosty glasses of Roma Wine lemonade, an ice-cold, taste-tingling treat that's a summer favorite here in Hollywood. For gala garden party or neighbor's casual call, the delicious thirst-quenching refreshment of Roma Wine lemonade pleases everyone. And Roma Wine lemonade is easy on you because it costs so little, is so easy to serve. You just place ice and the juice of half a lemon in a tall glass. Pour 3/4 full with zestful Roma California Burgundy or any other Roma wine you prefer. Add water and sweeten to taste. And because Roma wines are selected from the world's greatest wine reserves, a refresher made with Roma is better tasting naturally. So start now. Cool off and refresh yourself with Roma Wine lemonade. Insist on Roma. R-O-M-A, Roma Wine. Discover why more Americans enjoy Roma than any other wine.
This is Elliot Lewis. It's always a pleasure to appear on Suspense, and tonight I'm especially grateful to Mr. Spear for the opportunity to not only hear one of my own radio plays presented here, but also to appear in the starring role. I'd certainly like to thank my good friends and fellow radio countrymen who contributed their usual wonderful performances. Lorene Tuttle, who was Fran, Wally Mayer, who was the doctor, Jerry Hausner, who was the Vouts kid, Betty Moran and Irvin Lee, who were the two kids outside the apartment house, and Bill Johnston, who can do almost anything. Next Thursday, a very wonderful actor, Mr. J. Carroll Nash, will be starred on Suspense in a play called Commuter's Ticket, which goes to prove that nobody notices you on a commuting train, except when you don't want to be noticed.
Next Thursday, same time, Roma Wines will bring you J. Carroll Nash as star of Suspense, radio's outstanding theater of thrills.
Produced by William Spear for the Roma Wine Company of Fresno, California. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Now, Roma Wines, R-O-M-A, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world. Roma Wines present Suspense. Tonight, Roma Wines bring you Mr. J. Carroll Nash as star of Commuter's Ticket, a suspense play produced, edited, and directed for Roma Wines by William Spear. Suspense, radio's outstanding theater of thrills, is presented for your enjoyment by Roma Wines. That's R-O-M-A, Roma Wines. Those excellent California wines that can add so much pleasantness to the way you live, to your happiness in entertaining guests, to your enjoyment of everyday meals. Yes, right now, a glassful would be very pleasant as Roma Wines bring you J. Carroll Nash in a remarkable tale of suspense.
Ever ride a commuting train? If you have, you probably don't think anything of it. Not if you're one of the regulars. Commuters are just people coming from one place and on their way to going someplace else. What happens in between doesn't mean a thing. They don't remember it afterwards. They don't see the scenery. They look right at faces beside them and don't see them. I know. I used to ride the 8:15 into the city to work every morning and the 5:45 home in the evenings. Yeah, I used to ride the trains. Oh, could I bother you for a match?
Huh? Oh, man.
Yeah, I left mine at the office. Where I work, Consolidated Press. The wire service, you know.
Don't say.
Oh, I'm not one of the reporters.
Here's a book of matches, Keaton.
Thanks. No, I repair teletype machines. You know, the machines that print the news when it comes in and relay it out to the newspapers all over the country.
Don't say.
Funny trades people get at it. Now, me, I was a speed typist. The fellow on my shift was a telephone man. Both wind up in the same place, repairing teletype printers. It's a whole profession, you know. Most people don't know it exists. But there you are. They break down just like any other machine. Oh, what's your line?
Look, I'm sorry. These rides are the only time I have to go over my report.
Oh, sure. I didn't mean to butt in. I just thought maybe I'd seen you in the Laurel Creek station.
No, not my station.
I see a lot of people waiting for the train there, but I never get to know them. Oh, my name's Bert Gavin.
It's all right. Keep the matches. I got another book.
You ride right along beside the same people, or the same kind of people anyway, for weeks, months, years. Nobody knows you're there. The same conductors see you every day, and still they ask you what's your station. I got so I took it for granted like any other commuter. Then I got to thinking about it again, especially on the down peninsula runs, going home to that house that didn't have any love in it anymore. I said I lived in Laurel Creek. Well, that was my station. Only where I lived was on the wrong side of the tracks. The house was so close to the tracks we couldn't have a backyard for the rails. Every time a train would go by, it'd shake the whole house. The walls would shake, the windows would rattle, the ground would shake under the foundations. It was like living on the edge of a volcano. As I walked into the house that night, the Bayside Limited was just coming through.
Alva! Hey, Alva!
Who is it? That you, Bert? What are you doing home? Did you lose your job?
Wait till it gets past. I can't hear you.
What? What's that you said?
Oh, I said shut up.
What's the big idea coming home like this? Why'd you let me know?
I finished early.
You're going to get overtime. You're losing overtime.
Well, maybe I want to have dinner with my loving wife for a change.
Well, you won't. There's nothing in the house.
How couldn't we rustle up some scrambled eggs or something?
I told you there's nothing in the house.
What were you going to eat?
I was going out, if you want to know.
Who with?
Well, it's none of your business.
It's Alf Gorman, isn't it? You've been seeing him again, haven't you?
Well, what if I have?
I don't want you to see him. You're my wife.
Pity you didn't think of that when you moved me out here that sticks.
Well, your boyfriends don't seem to have any trouble locating you.
You rented a house on the railroad tracks deliberately, just to punish me.
Well, you don't have to stay in it.
No, I don't, but you do. And every time that train goes by in the night, I like it. You don't sleep so good, do you, Bert? The trains get on your nerves, too, don't they? I guess that's something you didn't figure on.
Hey, maybe I figured on more than you think.
What do you say that for? And what are you simpering about?
What's the matter, Alva? You sound like you're scared of me.
Of you? Oh, don't make me laugh. And don't make a scene when Alf comes by to pick me up. You know what happened the last time.
But it won't happen again. Laugh's on me, isn't it? I moved you to the country to keep you away from the juke joint, so he drives out here to see you.
The country. You call this the country. A shack on the railroad tracks. You bring me here. You must be crazy to think anybody could turn over a new leaf in a place like this.
Maybe I am crazy, but not the way you think.
Now, there you go again, getting that silly look on your face.
What time did you say Alf was coming to pick you up?
7 o'clock.
That's fine. That's perfect. I'll just have time to catch the 7:15 back into town and earn that overtime.
Well, what are you waiting for?
It's about time for the 6:45 to pass by, isn't it?
Yeah. Do stay and enjoy it, Bert, dear.
Honey, you don't know how much I'm going to enjoy this. Ah, there it is. Here it comes. Well, it's a minute early this evening.
Bert, what's the matter with you? What do you want with that poker?
What do you think I came home early tonight for? Give you 3 guesses.
Bert.
Nobody saw me leave the office. The watchman was asleep. He'll still be asleep when I get back. As far as the police will know, I never left there. I was there all night fixing the printers. Earning my overtime.
Bert, don't do it. You'll never get away with it. Everybody saw you coming out in the train. It'll be the same going back. You can't help being seeing so many people on those trains.
What you don't know, honey. What you don't know.
I'll scream. I'll scream so loud the neighbors will hear.
Nobody's going to hear anything except this train. There, there's the big baby now. A nice long train. Long and loud. Go ahead. Scream your head off.
Bert, put that down. You don't know what you're doing, Bert. Get away from me. All right, please, listen. Down, Bert. Down, Bert.
For Suspense, Roma Wines are bringing you J. Carroll Nash in Commuter's Ticket, a radio play by Roy Grandy and Robert Tallman. Roma Wines' presentation tonight in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense. Between the acts of Suspense, this is Ken Niles with a friendly suggestion. If the heat has you worn to a frazzle, soothe that ruffled disposition and those hot weather nerves. Take it easy. Cool off with the refreshing Roma Wine and Soda Iced. Yes, Roma Wine and Soda, America's smartest, coolest summer refresher. For there's nothing so cool to come home to as the thirst-quenching refreshment of Roma Wine and Soda. Long a summer favorite here in Hollywood, Roma Wine and Soda is now enjoyed by millions everywhere for cooling comfort and taste-tempting luxury. To prepare, just half-fill tall glasses with Roma California Sauterne or Burgundy or any other Roma wine type you prefer. Then simply add ice and sparkling water. That's all there is to it. Your Roma Wine and Soda is ready to enjoy. So good and cool. And remember, Roma wine is selected for you from the world's greatest wine reserves. That's why a refresher made with Roma is better tasting every time. So for luxurious, low-cost refreshment, insist on Roma. R-O-M-A. Roma wines. Enjoyed by more Americans than any other wine.
And now, Roma Wines bring back to our Hollywood soundstage J. Carroll Nash as Bert Gavin in Commuter's Ticket, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
The train was gone, and so was that awful feeling inside. I just stood there looking down where I'd knocked her. In the quiet, there wasn't any reason for what I'd done. I was sorry, kind of. I didn't want her dead now. But I had to follow it through. Had to work fast. Alf was coming for it at 7. He'd find her body. Maybe they'd try to hang it on him. That was a laugh. It was just a small noise when I picked up the poker, but even that scared me. I had to wipe it off, though. Those small sounds a man makes when he's alone around the house. I heard every step I took. I'd have given anything for another train to break up the silence. But there wouldn't be another train till the one I had to get on. I had to work fast if I was going to catch it. I opened a broom closet and got out a stepladder. I set the ladder up and climbed to the top of it, feeling dizzy. What I wanted was in a pewter mug on top of the sideboard. I got it in a hurry and climbed down. It was over $2,000 in cash. I'd been saving it for a long time. I needed it now. I might not be coming back to this house. I meant to put a ladder away and streak out of there before Alf put in his appearance. The buzzer stopped me cold. It was him, all right. I could see his shadow on the frosted glass of the front door. In a minute, he tried the door. I didn't know whether it was locked or not. I didn't wait to see. I hid out the back way. The door that opened only a couple of feet from the railroad tracks. And 3 seconds flat, I was scrambling up over that great stake fence, out onto the tracks, lurching over the railroad ties. Where was the plan, that neat plan, so nobody'd see me? I had a way mapped out, but that way was out the front door. Now everybody in all the houses along the tracks could see me. Maybe not, though. People there don't look out through those dirty windows any oftener than they have to. At the station, I huddled back on a bench in the darkest corner and waited. I got on with the others, lost in the crowd. I walked through just like all the commuters. Took the first good empty seat I found. A whole seat to myself.
Mind if I sit here?
What? Oh, no.
I just thought maybe your wife.
Wife?
Well, that may be that you were holding this seat for somebody.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Oh, thanks. Well, say, this suits me. You know, I don't like it when there isn't somebody to talk to. Yes, sir, my name's Elmer Russell. What's yours?
You must not ride on the trains very much.
You guessed it. From what I hear, people don't meet up with each other very much, not on these commuting trains. I only use them since I'm working nights. I used to drive in. What was your name now? Hey, what'd you do to your hand?
My hand? What?
Well, you must have cut yourself. Look, it's all covered.
Oh, yeah. Well, excuse me. Just saw a friend of mine going in the car ahead. I wanted to see him on a matter of... I rushed down out of the car, my heart pounding. I went in and washed my hands. Out of all the passengers on that train, I had to get beside somebody who didn't have the commuter's habit. And blood on my hands. Well, what was the difference? Nobody ever questioned him about me. The train lurched as I started down the aisle of the next smoker.
Hey, watch it. What's the big idea?
Sorry. The train gave a lurch. Sorry.
Well, you don't have to cry about it. Just watch it.
Yeah.
Hey, wait.
What?
Help me pick up these dominoes.
Oh, go on. Chase yourself.
Hey, come back here. What's the big idea?
Gee, I should have helped him pick them up. He'd remember that my being rude. Maybe not, though. Commuters are used to rudeness. I hurried on to the next car. I shut the door behind me and leaned back against it, feeling weak and dizzy. People near me looked up and stared at me. I must have looked pretty sick, judging from the way I felt. I grabbed the first vacant seat and fell into it.
Wow, look what just dropped down from the sky.
Hey, can't keep us from having that sport, can they?
Well, what's your limit, friend? 10% a point?
Now, don't tell us you don't play bridge. You'll be the first commuter I ever met on this run that didn't play bridge, huh?
Oh, sure. I play a little. I'm not very good, though. But I'll be glad to play.
Good. You keep score, Jack.
Sure.
Draw for the deal.
Well, ace of spades. Looks like your lucky night, fella.
Yeah. What's your name, by the way?
A name?
Yeah, for the score pad.
Oh, yeah, for the score pad.
Don't hold up the game, Jack. Just write down Mr. X.
Oh, that's good. Easy to remember.
My name's Sam Cartwright.
Oh, okay, Sam. All right, let's see now. Who dealt?
I played cards. What I picked up and laid down then, I can't remember. I could hardly see the spots on them. I was thinking of Alva's face, lying there in that miserable house by the tracks where I'd left her. Then it happened. The one they called Jack had just said,
"Your play, Sam."
And it happened. It was only the train going through the tunnel, but it brought it all back. A scream and the train roaring by, the whole house shaking. When I heard that squeal, my arms jerked up. What all I did, I don't know.
Well, what's the matter, Sam?
Oh, nothing.
Well, play. We won't finish your rubber at this rate.
Play, yeah. I'm sorry, Donna. I thought there was another trump out.
Sorry? Your race takes it, chum.
Yeah, I thought you said you didn't play much, Sam.
Never seen such luck.
Your deal, Whitney.
Excuse me, gent. Got all your tickets?
Oh.
Yeah.
Guess my coat was over the seat check.
That's all right.
Hey, wait, conductor.
Huh?
You didn't get Sam's ticket.
Yeah, Sam's too lucky. Can't let him get away with a free ride.
I was back in the other car.
Where was that?
Well, to tell the truth, I forget whether I paid or not. I'll buy a ticket, though, just to be sure. Sorry to bother you. I'll just take some change out of my wallet.
Hey, there's your regular monthly commuter's ticket, isn't it?
Oh, yes, so it is. Yeah, I thought I'd left it home.
That's all right, Mr. Gavin.
Gavin? I thought you said your name was Cartwright.
Oh, this is my brother-in-law's ticket.
Oh, I see.
Come on, you guys. Pick up your card.
Yeah. I pass.
No bid.
Let's see. By me.
Never seen a rottener hand.
Me either. But Sam's going to bid, though. Sam doesn't get rotten hands.
Well, Sam, how How about it?
Oh, no. No.
Hey, what's the matter with you, anyway? You look sick. What's the matter with you?
Oh, I'm all right. Leave me alone, will you?
Well, if you're going to bed, go on in bed.
All right. Just wait till the train gets by. The noise, I can't concentrate. It wasn't a passing train, not this time. It was the cards in my hand. I saw them all at once. It was a hand Culbertson might have written a book about. It was more than just a grand slam. I had every face card in the deck, but I wasn't going to be noticed on that train. I didn't even want to be remembered, no. And here I had a 7-note trump hand.
Well, come on, bid, man, bid.
I should. I guess we better have a redeal.
Where are the good cards? Somebody's got to have them.
Say, the train's getting crowded.
Sure is, mister.
Oh, I'm sorry, madam. Here, please, take my seat.
Well, thank you, dearie.
What's the idea?
Cards all over the
Hey, where you going? Sorry, next is my station. So long. Well, I got out of showing that hand. But there was that abrupt departure to remember, and I'd given my seat to a woman. You don't see people giving seats to ladies very often these days. In the next car, I stopped on the aisle and stood wedged in tight by the crowd. I was shaking, so it must have attracted attention. Then the conductor came through.
Ticket. Didn't get your ticket.
Well, you punched my ticket. It was in the other car. I was playing cards, remember?
Remember? Let me think now.
No, it's all right. Here. I have my commuter's ticket. You can punch it again. Oh, here, it must be in my other pocket. Gee, where'd I put it? I couldn't have lost it.
Well, never mind this time. But after this, take your seat check along when you move from car to car. Makes a lot of trouble for us when you don't.
Then you do remember?
Well, never mind about that.
Tell me, do you remember punching my ticket? Do you remember me?
Can't say as I do. One face gets to be just like another when you work the train so long. I'll just take your word for it.
I breathed easier from then on. If that conductor didn't take any notice of me, then nobody would. Once I stopped jittering, people stopped staring at me, or maybe I just imagined they were staring at me. Nobody watching for me at the station in San Francisco. I lost myself in the crowd and was back at the building where I worked before 8 o'clock. The watchman was asleep the way I figured he'd be, the way I'd planned it. I'd gone into the locker room before I left there and put a slug of sleeping medicine into his coffee thermos that would put a horse to sleep. Now, there was no danger of his waking up. But I tiptoed past him just to make sure. I went into the big room where the printers were. They were running just like I left them. No paper snag, no carriages stuck. None of the operators had called in. If they had, I could just say I'd gone out for a sandwich. I guess I knew how to fix teletypes, all right. To keep them running or to stop them running. I fixed a couple of those so nobody could say they hadn't broken down. Of course, the papers had kicked plenty about losing all that news. My office had kicked plenty, yeah. Kicked me right into the proof of where I'd been all night. It was daylight before I left. On the way out, I tripped over the night watchman. I wanted him to see me leave, but he didn't stir. I shook him a couple of times, but he didn't wake up. So I stamped my card myself and went on my way. He'd give the right testimony in any case. He wouldn't dare admit he'd been asleep on the job. Well, I bought a newspaper and started for the depot, feeling pretty good. There wasn't anything in the paper about what I'd done to Alva. I was sure there wouldn't be. I had one eye on the city news ticker all night. Maybe Alf didn't go in. Maybe they hadn't found a body yet. That's what I kept telling myself, Yeah, that's what I kept telling myself.
Mr. Gavin?
I'm Bert Gavin.
My name's Daniels. Detective Inspector Daniels. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Why, certainly, Inspector. What is it?
Well, first, I think you'd better give an account of your movements last evening and last night.
Oh, well, that's easy enough. I spent the whole night at Consolidated News where I work. A couple of machines broke down, and I had to stay there and repair them. Fixing the teletype printers, that's my job.
Yeah, I know. You're under arrest, Mr. Gavin, on suspicion of murder.
Oh, now, wait a minute. You're making a big mistake, Mr. Inspector. I don't know what happened here, but I've been there the whole night, and I can prove it. I've got my time card and the night watchman as a witness.
Well, you picked a mighty poor witness, Mr. Gavin.
What do you mean?
That night watchman's dead, and you know it because you killed him, didn't you, Gavin?
Oh, listen, I don't get it. I told you the truth. He was alive at 6 o'clock this morning. He stamped my time card.
I think we'd better go somewhere private where we can take down your statement.
Okay, but listen, Inspector, you're on the wrong track. Honestly, you are. Why did I take such pains to prove I was there last night if I was a guilty party?
Well, I suppose you figured there's no use lying about what we can prove. Your story had to check with your wives.
My wife?
Yeah. Oh, we had a little trouble locating her, but she gave us a statement.
Where'd you locate her?
In the hospital. She had a bad accident, fell off a stepladder and cracked her head on an andiron.
Oh, is she all right?
Oh, sure. Luckily, a friend dropped in just after it happened, and they got her to the hospital in time.
Well, listen, you've got to take me there. I've got to see her right away.
Yeah, sure. After we get your statement and the money.
What money?
Why, the money you killed the watchman for, a little over $2,000, wasn't it? See, the way we got it figured, you put sleeping stuff in his coffee and then went after the safe. He came to and surprised you, so you let him have it with a wrench. Being dopey and an old guy, it was just too much for his heart. We got you cold, Gavin. Your prints are all over that wrench. Nice, fresh prints.
Oh, listen, you got me all wrong. What time did it happen?
Oh, around 7:30, the doctor figures.
Then I can prove I didn't do it. I was home at 7:15, and I took the 7:15 back to town. My wife will tell you that.
Will she? The way she told it to us, you weren't home at any time, and if I'm any judge of people, she'll stick to that story.
But I can prove I was on that train. I talked to people. I lost my commuter's ticket. The conductor will remember me.
Yeah?
Most of those people will be on the train again tonight. They'll remember. I had a 7-0 trump hand at bridge. Oh, they'll remember. Well, there must be somebody who'll remember me.
Oh, that's all right. We'll take enough trips to strike an average.
Here, this woman. Hello, do you remember me?
I beg your pardon?
2 nights ago on this car. Remember, I gave you a seat.
Oh, how considerate.
Do you remember me?
Let me think, dearie.
Try to place his face, lady.
No, I really couldn't, dearie, but I just wish somebody'd give me a seat now.
And I'd been afraid she'd remember me. While we walked through all the cars, I couldn't find any of the other witnesses, not even the conductor. But Daniels was understanding. He let me try the 7:15 with him the next night. I played bridge with you. I gave you my name as Sam Cartwright.
No, I'm afraid I don't place you.
But I was winning all the time. I even had a 7-0 trump hand.
Oh, I haven't seen any hands like that in years. You must have mistaken us for somebody else.
Oh, here. At last. You remember me.
Well, if you don't mind, I have this reading that I...
Look, we met the other night, 5 nights ago it was.
Is that so?
Yeah, I remember. You said you weren't a regular commuter, so I knew you're the one person who wouldn't forget me. Remember I cut my hand?
5 nights ago. Well, I've been riding the trains all the time since then. I'm afraid one face is getting to be much like another.
Well, that does it, Gavin. Come clean now.
But I did take the 7:15 that night. I'm telling the truth. There, that's the conductor.
Huh?
Out on the platform. Look, I found the conductor.
Why bother, Gavin?
Conductor, do you remember seeing me on this run a week ago?
Well, I'm afraid one face is pretty much like...
I know, but I lost my commuter ticket. We talked about it.
Lost the commuter ticket? What's the name?
Bert Gavin. Can't you remember me?
No, but I might have some tickets here. I find a few strays once in a while.
Oh, that's it. That's my ticket.
Let me see that.
My ticket. There's my name on it, see?
You found this on the 7:15?
Well, mister, couldn't say what run it was. They shuttle the cars around, you know.
That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
No, thanks, conductor. That's all I needed.
They had me cold. For a murder I didn't commit. That was a funny puck for me. Daniels was the right guy, though. He gave me one last chance to establish my alibi.
At the hospital, Alva refused to see me, but Daniels agreed to see her himself and question her about my story, that I was home at the time of the murder. I waited in the corridor outside Alva's room. He was in there almost an hour. Well, Gavin? Did you go anywhere? Did she tell you anything? Yeah. Yes, she told me plenty. She told you I was home? I couldn't have murdered the watchman? She signed a detailed statement to that effect. So my alibi's good. Oh, sure, I couldn't have killed the watchman. Oh, your alibi for the watchman will stick all right, Gavin. But, I'm afraid we'll still have to hold you for murder. You see, your wife just made a new statement telling us what actually happened when you came home. Well, yeah, sure. We had a quarrel. I'm sorry. Matter of fact, I should have told you. And, just after she signed the statement, she passed away. What? Dead? She's dead? Are you sure? Oh, there's no doubt about it, Gavin. Well, it's getting late. I gotta check in. You ready to go? Yeah. You think they'll give me an inside cell? I can get you one if you want it. Thanks a lot. I'd like that. Nice and quiet. Away from the train.
Suspense. Presented by Roma Wines, R-O-M-A, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world. Before we hear again from J. Carroll Nash, the star of Commuter's Ticket, tonight's suspense play, this is Ken Niles with a Hollywood party idea for the ladies. When it's your turn to entertain these hot, sultry afternoons, treat your guests to the thirst-quenching refreshment of Roma Wine Lemonade. So light, so ripe, so easy to serve. Roma Wine Lemonade, first acclaimed by smart Hollywood hostesses, is now popular with women everywhere. The thirst choice among cold, tall refreshers. And Roma Wine Lemonade is so simple to prepare. Just place ice and the juice of half a lemon in a tall glass, pour 3/4 full with Roma California Burgundy or any other Roma wine type you prefer, add water and sweeten to taste. Quick as a wink, Roma Wine Lemonade is ready with cold, satisfying, low-cost refreshment for all. And because Roma wine is selected for you from the world's greatest wine reserves, refreshers made with Roma are better tasting naturally. So insist on Roma, R-O-M-A, Roma wine, largest selling wine in all history.
This is J. Carroll Nash. Mr. Spear has been telling me about next Thursday's Suspense show, and I must say he has whetted my appetite for it tremendously. It'll present an all-star cast of Hollywood's finest radio actors, headed by Wally Mayer, in a play which, according to Mr. Spear, contains some of the most powerful ingredients of distilled suspense that he has encountered since the now internationally famous Sorry, Wrong Number. It concerns the converging of death upon a helpless man and the unknowing conspiracy of people all over the city whom he has never even met to bury him alive. So let's all be sure and listen. Thank you.
J. Carroll Nash appeared through courtesy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, producers of the Technicolor musical Holiday in Mexico. Next Thursday, same time, Roma Wines will bring you Wally Mayer and an all-star cast of Hollywood's finest radio actors in Suspense, radio's outstanding theater of thrills. Produced by William Spear for the Roma Wine Company of Fresno, California. Suspense is broadcast from coast to coast and to our men and women overseas by shortwave and through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.